person.
Well, John, I appreciate you taking the time to do this.
My pleasure.
Guy.
Guy.
So, new program. What do you think so far?
I'm surviving.
Yeah.
It's challenging. It's meant to be challenging. So yeah, you learn as you go, as with any process. But yeah, I'm finding I'm getting pushed in ways that I'm not used to. You know, it's like very uncomfortable at times, but in a good way. You know, because they encourage you to respond well, which I think is the difference.
Yeah, it's a great program. It does kind of test your time management skills, and it pushes you to the limits. Like I did a little research. I know that you have like a ballet background as a principal dancer and so forth. So I'm sure you're really familiar with discipline.
Oh yeah, all
and
those.
practice and focus and maybe mental meditation and things like that. But also, what might benefit you is all that experience in front of people.
Yeah, people skills, communication, that thing. Yeah, I'm a lot more comfortable with that. It's all the business acumen that is really it's a steep learning curve for me.
It's gonna be a challenge. So, do you have any goals, or are there anything that you may be looking to do to better yourself?
Absolutely. You know, personally, to be a better leader. That's pure and simple, right? So a lot of the I'm finding really wonderful is the coaching experience. It's just hard finding time to make that happen and make it happen in a space that you can concentrate on it and really get something out of it. That's actually been really wonderful. But like professionally, it's the reason I joined the program really is because you know, I come from an artistic background where it's very separated from the act of running arts organizations to the act of actually doing it. And it's done in a way that protects each and also enables each, but I'm not interested in that anymore. I'm interested in trying to find a way to not only speak the language of business and do it, but also do it in a way that can positively affect the industry as a whole. The arts the fine arts especially, when I talk about the arts, the fine arts, are slow to change, and as we know, the business environment and the environment around us is changing ever so rapidly. So that's always been a little bit of a frustration for me because I see so much opportunity that's being left behind. So how do we I don't want to water down what I do, but I want to do it in a way that it becomes more of something that's part of our daily lives.
Gotcha. So just to be a little bit reflective on that, due to the changing requirements of your career and the path that you've chosen, and the tasks that you're now tasked with handling on a day-to-day basis, you'd like to be a better leader.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I put myself in that position, but I didn't do it willingly. I had a group of fellow dancers who encouraged me to do this with them. You know, they wanted to do it, but they didn't want to do it without me. I had my vision to go to business school and then chart my own path from there. It was not my plan to start a company at the same time I started this program. And I don't regret it, but it's very inconvenient as far as time goes, and how far I'm stretched, and also how far that I feel that there's a certain responsibility and weight that you want to. If you're just doing a startup, you're already very vulnerable, and so I don't want to, because of my time getting taken in other ways, I don't want that to affect adversely the startup company. So it's been a struggle to find that balance.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, improving your leadership skills will make it easier to run the business.
Yeah.
Also in command and respect to your teammates and people in the program as well. So you kind of get a lot of benefits from that.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things I'm trying to do is to apply what I'm learning here directly. I'm in the service industry, and if I boil the arts down to a service, so a lot of them I almost have to translate on my own because it's applicable, and I can apply it, but I have to kind of rehash it and re-speak it and translate it into a different kind of language, so to speak. It's not a huge leap of trying to communicate, but it is one that I have to kind of figure out as I try to apply what I'm learning here.
Yeah, I mean, performance to operational. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it seems realistic to me that you would set a goal to become a better leader,
Yeah.
right? I think it's, and humility is always a good thing.
Oh, man.
So just
It
knowing,
happens.
yeah.
I'm
knowing
not
it's
seeking
a
it out.
goal,
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
So have you tried any things, I mean, have you thought about any specific practices that you could employ that might help you become a better leader?
Yeah, one of the ideas I'm trying to employ is the idea of empowerment. How do I create people who have how do I create employees to give them the tools for success, and what those tools may be dependent on the individual and what their interests may be. So it's not a blanket application. It's really, I'm trying to tailor it specifically to each of my partners in this venture, because they come from similar backgrounds as I do. And but they're not also going through this formal education as I am. So I have at my disposal certain connections and tools that I can use to give to them so they can do their job better. Because, as a startup, there is no hierarchy. We all talk about verticals. There's no verticals. It's a group. It's a collective. So we're all in this together. So our job titles are very porous, so to speak. So they're also doing operational type, things like marketing, PR, development. So I'm trying to facilitate that in a way that's not taking from my time too much, but it's also empowering them and letting them grow beyond, what they traditionally think their job is doing.
So sort of extending trust that you can
Yeah.
delegate specific authority to them.
Yeah.
Maybe duties and tasks that they're not familiar with to sort
Yeah.
of build them up.
Yeah, exactly. How do I frame a task that you're not familiar with, so that they feel safe, they can achieve it, but also courageous enough to actually do it.
Yeah.
So how do I frame it in such a way that they feel confident in doing it, even though they know, they're in a steep learning curve as well.
So can you think of any specific tasks like this that you've delegated?
Yeah, absolutely. To every one of my fellow founders, she's a choreographer by trade and a dancer. She's doing development work. So she's the one in direct line with all our donors, all our big donors, and to recruit donors and how to identify donors and how to keep them around and keep them happy. And then I have a girl who does marketing. That's not her formal trade. She's actually, she's majoring in business at Georgia State as an undergrad. But yeah, marketing is a big pull for her because she's not an extrovert. She's very much an introvert. She's not used to having to be the voice of this company, Yeah.
So that's good. That's good. Have you thought about, other than just delegating specific authorities to other people within the organization to help improve leadership, have you thought about any other options or?
Yeah, we formed a board.
Okay.
We formed a board. So these are passionate people who support us and believe in us, and who want the very best for us. But then they don't come from the background we all come from as well, right? So how do I also delegate tasks to them because they're motivated to do it, without adding to my workload, in a way that I know the needs of the organization and can steer them in the direction of those needs.
Gotcha. So development of a board, empowerment of specific tasks. Can you think of anything from your learning in class so far that might help you that you haven't tried to employ yet?
Yeah, there's all sorts of things. A lot of it, thankfully, a lot of the accounting is done by a partnership that we formed at our founding, which has been phenomenal. It's been a very wonderful partnership and a strategic one at that. That unloads a lot of that responsibility that we don't have to concentrate, so we can concentrate on the work itself. But I think we need a strategic plan. I think we need a marketing plan. We need a development plan. These are all things that we need ASAP. you know, we're 6 months into our founding, and the excitement of our founding is starting to taper off, and we're entering a sophomore year where you've been around the block, people know you. Who cares? What are you doing now, right? So how do you create those systems in place, those structures that will help sustain the organization as it grows?
So if you look at those three things, strategic plan, development plan, and marketing plan, which one to you is most important?
Development.
Development? Okay. And do you have anybody that reports to you directly that you feel is competent to do this?
Not directly, not in any formal capacity, but I have a lot of people from a lot of different voices coming to me. So it's very ad hoc right now, and that's one of the reasons I see the need for it, is because I don't want to frustrate people who are trying to help me, you know, and they may be moving me in a direction or pushing me in a direction that I don't think is strategic enough or we want to go. And it's just it's not like a waste of resources, it's just not the best use of resources. So
Understood.
I think if we can put a plan in front of everybody to get everyone on the same page so they can realize what an opportunity looks like in the first place. So before they even come to me, they already know what the situation is and how to assess it.
And as far as the strategic plan or marketing plan, do you feel like there's anybody that's in its terminus?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anybody within terminus that you feel could be tasked with those kinds of plans?
Yes and no. I think they live in. I can't think of any one person that may be capable. I can maybe think of a team I could assemble to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do. To answer your question, yes, there is, but it would be a team of people rather than, you know,
A specific individual.
Yeah, exactly.
And this would be a team of people that you would need to lead.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I feel like that is a good area to own in on, you know, and to maybe put some of your efforts and energies and focus
Yeah.
into doing that.
Yeah.
So if you put a time frame around that, and you picked either the strategic plan or the marketing plan to put together a team, when do you think you could put that together?
Here's the good thing about the marketing plan, and then I'll go back to your question. Right now, I'm using one of our assignments, the marketing plan, it's like due in 2 weeks. We're doing my company, which is fantastic.
That's fantastic.
So I'm taking care of that already.
So it's DeCorno?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly, yeah.
Yes.
So for the development plan, yes, you're absolutely right. I think to motivate myself and to create the time necessary to put this forward, time is good. I've taken some initial steps in that direction, because a lot of the time that I'll need to put my efforts towards this is currently taken by logistics and operations.
Okay.
Things that I shouldn't be doing. I should be looking more towards what are we going to be in 5 years down the road, and how do we get there. Those are the things I want to concentrate on, but I'm finding difficult to do, doing all, you know, the things I'm up to right now. So I'm trying to find a general manager, an operations manager, who can take all those tasks off, not just me, but also my coworkers as well, and take that off our plate. So right now, we're looking to bring someone in around July,
Okay.
so that we may be able to start being more strategic and finding what our next steps are and what those opportunities are.
Okay. So once this operational manager is in place, do you feel like you'll be leading them with your overall vision?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's one of the prerequisites. You know, you're now part of this team. You have to mesh and mold with the current situation. So you definitely want someone who has the appropriate skill set, but I think just as important, and even maybe more so, is how well you jive with everyone else, because it is a small group. And, you know, I'm not gonna bring in someone who just says, this is my job description, this is all I'm gonna do. That will just not fly, you know, at this point in our life. You
Sounds
know?
like that wouldn't work with your organizational culture that you.
Exactly. So it needs to be something who recognizes the group dynamic and kind of get into that group dynamic with us.
So if you looked at it on a scale of 1 to 10, I mean, how willing are you to bring in this operational manager in July and then lead them in that capacity?
We've already budgeted for it, so the appropriate steps are there. I've talked to my coworkers about it as well, because we've had to make a decision whether to increase the size of our company, how many artists we have, or fill this position. And so I'm making the argument now, because I was wanting to kind of increase the size, but now I'm having to make the decision that maybe this is more important at this time, you know.
So, so that's good. So you would say then, on a 1 to 10, maybe like a 10? Sounds like you're
Yeah.
headed?
Yeah, oh, we're vetted, we're in it,
You're ready to go?
absolutely, yeah.
Good. Well, cool.
Time is important.
Well, do you mind if I schedule a follow-up time with you in July?
No,
Check in and kind of see how that's going?
I love it, yeah.
That's why.
Well, gentlemen, appreciate it.
Thank you.
I have to
Appreciate you.
That's what I would tell you which one I